Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, near record heat for North Central Florida. The UF weather team is tracking the conditions that can make the next few days outside uncomfortable for neighbors.
Plus, a fugitive order to face her punishment. The other move a Gainesville judge made today in court that he says won't hold much weight.
And President Biden among the world leaders marking D-Day's 80th anniversary. Why the president warns threats to democracy could cause a similar tragedy. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Temperatures have been soaring and doing so at an unprecedented level. Welcome to WFT's First at 5. I'm Valentina Sandoval.
And I'm Tatyana White. Thanks for joining us. We start with near record heat levels in the Gainesville area.
WFT's Reuben joins us now with the weather forecast and a look at these hot conditions.
Taking a look on campus, it's about 94 degrees, but it feels like it's almost 100-degree weather outside. There's going to be light wind with a little bit of rain coming in from last night. But let's look at the highs so far for the cities. So Jacksonville, they're up to 98. Palatka, they're up to 98, and Gainesville is at a 95 for today. But Palaka's not getting any breaks as they're up to 97, or they actually went down to 97. They were initially 99. Gainesville has gone up to 94, so the temperatures have been going up and going down periodically throughout the day. But Gainesville is not safe as record heat as it was almost 100-degree weather for Gainesville today. But we're not out of the neck of the woods yet, as for this weekend, we might be seeing even more record heat as we have coming up. It's going to be a very dry weekend and showers for the next Monday coming up for next week.
A Gainesville judge has ordered the fugitive who drove over a bicyclist and dragged her body into a utility to a fine and community service. Surveillance video of the crash was also shown during today's hearing. We stopped the video you're about to see just before the impact. During a virtual hearing this morning, Judge Jonathan Ramsey urged 42-year-old Sohair Mohammed to turn herself in. During the hearing, the defendant asserted her innocence. She's been wanted since late March after missing a court date. Last September, surveillance video showed Mohammed turning left and hitting 68-year-old Lauren Cava, who was riding in the crosswalk. Cava froze as she was hit and then dragged into a utility pole. Authorities did not believe the crash was deliberate. The judge also suspended any valid license Mohammed could obtain for the next 2 years. It's reported she only had an Egyptian license.
Today, President Biden and other world leaders were on hand to honor the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. NBC senior national correspondent Jay Gray has more from the American Cemetery in Normandy.
80 years later, the shots fired from the cliffs at Omaha Beach are a tribute far different from the violent blast that met U.S. and Allied troops on D-Day.
Yeah. You don't know what we're seeing, really.
What they saw and what they did, their dedication and courage, changed the course of history.
The price of unchecked tyranny is the blood of the young and the brave. In their generation, in their hour of trial, the Allied forces of D-Day did their duty.
That service, their sacrifice, honored during a solemn ceremony here today. With military tributes, including the Legion of Honor, France's highest military award, presented by French President Emmanuel Macron to 11 U.S. servicemen, including Private First Class Calvin Shiner. Like so many who've come back to what they knew as a battlefield, now a pristine graveyard memorial. Shiner deflects the attention instead, focusing on his friends, marked by white headstones, those who never got the chance to go home.
I'd always very sad about those fellas that couldn't leave, and the ones that made it possible for me to be here.
He calls them heroes, though truth is, they're all heroes.
And so our gratitude must never fade. Our memories must never dim. And our resolve must never fail.
Because their resolve, their courage never failed in the hours it was needed most. Jay Gray, NBC News at the American Cemetery in Normandy.
The Gator Marching Band will be featured as a performer at the 80th anniversary of D-Day in France. This performance will commemorate the American soldiers who lost their lives on D-Day. This is expected to be the last major commemoration of this event due to the age of surviving veterans. To prepare for the performance, the students will be researching the names and stories of UF students and alumni who fought in World War II. They will cross-reference for those whose units participated in D-Day. The Gator Band will also lay a memorial wreath at the Normandy American Cemetery on behalf of UF.
David Stephen Saunders, a 71-year-old ex-surgeon and Alachua County resident, was arrested on child pornography charges. A detective from the Alachua Police Department assigned to the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force confirmed that the tip received from NCMEC was child pornography. A search warrant was executed on Saunders' account, which revealed Saunders to be in possession of the child pornography photograph. A further look into Saunders' accounts revealed several other images being stored.
Tomorrow, Gainesville leaders plan to recognize Gun Violence Awareness Day with a special Wear Orange event. From 7:30 to midnight, neighbors can enjoy Teen Midnight Basketball and a presentation from Mayor Harvey Ward. You are asked to wear orange clothing and sign up to join the efforts to end gun violence. The event is free and is being held at the Martin Luther King Jr. Multipurpose Center on Northeast 14th Street.
Governor Ron DeSantis signs Cassie-Carly law to ensure safe child custody exchanges. The law was named after a Navarre woman who died during an exchange of her daughter in an unknown location. It requires court-approved plans for shared custody to include a list of authorized exchange locations. In cases of domestic violence or risk of harm, it will also require an exchange to happen in a sheriff's office parking lot. The measure had bipartisan support and will go into effect July 1st.
Alachua County Sheriff's Office experienced a phone line outage in the jail on Wednesday morning. As a result, remote and in-person inmate visitations associated with their online system are down until further notice.
State officials are urging Floridians to emphasize safety while swimming this summer, as dozens of children have drowned this year alone. Officials are urging parents to get their children signed up for swim lessons and for others to learn CPR in addition to learning how to give first aid. Florida Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunes says most drowning deaths have happened in swimming pools.
So far this year, 46 children have tragically lost their lives due to drowning. Drowning is preventable, and it is also the #1 cause of unintentional death of children ages 1 to 4.
A new state law creating a swimming lesson voucher program is set to take effect July 1st. The law requires the State Department of Health to establish a network of swimming lesson providers to participate in the program. Vouchers will cover the cost of lessons for families with incomes up to 200% of the federal poverty level.
Boeing's new capsule has docked at the International Space Station after missing an initial time window for docking earlier today. The Starliner capsule launched from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida yesterday and was expected to dock at the ISS around 12:15 this afternoon. Mission managers in Houston investigated the failure of some spacecraft thrusters used for precise maneuvering, as well as performed thruster tests. Veteran astronauts Barry Butch Wilmore and Sunita Suni Williams are aboard for the inaugural 2-member NASA crew. Plans call for them to remain aboard the station for about 8 days before departing on a return flight back to Earth.
Coming up on WUFT News First at 5, Hunter Biden faces 3 federal charges having to do with the possession of a firearm. We'll have the details on the key testimony today, all that and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
There was key testimony today in Hunter Biden's federal gun trial. President Biden's sole surviving son faces 3 federal charges tied to the possession of a gun while using narcotics. Hallie Biden, the widow of Hunter's brother Beau, took the stand. NBC's Bree Jackson is on Washington with details.
Hallie Biden, widow of Hunter Biden's brother Beau, providing emotional testimony. She was romantically involved with him when he purchased the firearm at the center of this case. While on the witness stand, she said she found the gun in Hunter's car, panicked, and then threw the gun in a trash can at this Delaware grocery store. She said Hunter was angry when he found out. Prosecutors using her testimony and text messages to paint Hunter Biden as an active drug user at the time he purchased that gun on October 12, 2018. Pointing to a text exchange 2 days later on October 14th, where Hunter wrote, I was sleeping on a car smoking crack. Hallie getting personal about her own drug use, saying it was a terrible experience that I went through, and I'm embarrassed and I'm ashamed of that period of my life. A sensitive moment putting a spotlight on struggles with substance abuse.
I think that it will play a role in this, and it could be to Hunter Biden's benefit.
During cross-examination, Hallie Biden acknowledged that she did not see Hunter using drugs during the time frame when he bought the gun, supporting the defense's point that he did not knowingly lie when checking no on a federal background check form.
The defense is that when Hunter filled out that form saying that he wasn't a drug addict or user, that was true at that time.
Hunter Biden has pleaded not guilty to the charges, saying they are politically motivated. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
The Melrose Center is hosting a free health fair tomorrow, June 7th from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. The health fair will have professionals from several healthcare organizations to provide the free services. Some of the services include diabetes testing, cholesterol readings, and diagnostics consultations. The health fair will be located at 307 State Road 26 in Melrose, Florida.
School leaders in Alachua County want your input in naming their district office. A meeting will be held tonight at 6 p.m. in the boardroom of the district office located in East University Avenue. Anyone is welcome to come to this meeting to give their input. Under board policy, the name must be descriptive of the area or the name of a deceased person who has made a big contribution to local education or the well-being of a community. If you are unable to attend this meeting, another will be held on June 27th.
Major country rock stars like Jason Aldean, Kid Rock, and Leonard Skinner are among the acts coming to Ocala this weekend. Rock the Country Music Festival is held at the Majestic Oaks Horse Farm this Friday and Saturday. The festival is expected to attract a large influx of fans, and the Marion County Sheriff's Office is asking folks to be mindful of increased traffic and for the locals to find alternative routes. If you are interested in attending, tickets can be found at rockthecountry.com.
4 UFPD officers receive a recognition award for their life-saving efforts. 2 sergeants and 2 officers from UFPD received the Valor Award from Sky FM, which recognizes outstanding local law enforcement. This award recognized their efforts after being notified of an unresponsive person while patrolling during a Gator baseball game. The rapid response to provide emergency services ensured the person was safe and transported to the hospital.
The NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championship started yesterday. Malcolm Clemens competed in the long jump finals. Clemens leaped a season best of 26.5 feet, a good finish for 3rd place, securing 6 points for the men's team. Other Gators advancing to their semi-final round, including Wanya McCoy in the 100 and the 200-meter dash, Robert Gregory in the 200 meters, Javon Powell and Raheem Hales advanced as well in the 400 meters. Today will be the finals for the 4x100 and the 4x400 meter relays. And the Florida women also will take the track this evening. Upcoming for Gator baseball, this weekend the Gators are still hanging on in the NCAA Super Regional. Florida takes on Clemson Tigers. Coach Kevin O'Sullivan is heading back to Doug Kingsmore Stadium, where he was the assistant coach for 8 years before venturing to the Swamp. We caught up with Coach O'Sullivan over the phone, and here are his thoughts.
Our pitching was young to start the season, and we went through our struggles, but they continued to work hard. And you know, the irony of the whole thing is one of the reasons why we were almost left out of the tournament was our midweek losses. And lo and behold, the guys that were pitching the midweek were the ones that had to pitch to kind of, you know, win the regionals.
Moving into softball, the Women's College World Series continues tonight as Oklahoma looks to win their 4th consecutive national title win over Texas. Yesterday, Cassidy Pickering and Kinsey Hansen and Tyre Jennings all homered to give the Sooners a lead. They would not give up on their way to victory with an 8-3 score. This will be Oklahoma coach Patty Gasso's 8th World Series championship with the Sooners. If they can win tonight, Game 2 tonight, will Texas looks to stay alive and force a deciding Game 3 tomorrow. Tonight's game starts at 7 p.m. live on ESPN.
Thank you for those updates on sports, Jordyn.
Before we go, one last check on the weather.
We're going to take one more final look at the weather as there is a 7-day outlook. For tomorrow, there's a chance there may be some storms, but looking at the weekend, it's mostly dry, clear skies. As mentioned, Gainesville will be turning into Rainsville as the first 3 days almost guarantee weather, almost guarantee some showers. And then looking at Thursday, there's a chance that there may be some weather also. The temperature is not coming down anyways. It's going to stay around the 90s.
Thanks for joining us. We're back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org and on all our social media platforms. Have a good night.